Community means feeling like home, feeling like family, being connected with others, and with that connectedness, I would use the expression alma, which in Spanish means soul.
Community means services that are provided that people need, people like myself and human beings rather.
Really, our core purpose is to build vibrant and engaged communities. It's really about how we build communities. Buildings beyond buildings is the way we like to think about it.
That's basically what it means to me. The support, the belonging, the common interest, and the advocacy also. Because you have a group of people. When you have a group of people coming together for a common cause, it makes it stronger. So
Spaces for folks to come together, I just think, are critical everywhere. And our ability to do that in communities like White Center, huge immigrant refugee population, is just, I think, just necessary for kids to feel affirmed in who they are as communities of color.
Places to take our kids, to commune with one another, to have spaces like parks and cultural centers, to do togetherness, because it isn't just about where you live, it's how you interact where you live.
In the Central District, it was important to preserve small business space for small African American owned businesses and create some ownership opportunity for the local developer, Africatown.
It's been a beautiful experience. Capitol Housing has helped a lot of people around this neighborhood as far as, like I said, give them a place to live with an affordable range with the means of money they make.
In Capitol Hill, it was important to create housing for the senior LGBTQ population with supportive services.
As an old gay man, I would not want to be in most of these retirement homes. Not that they are bad, or not that I could not maybe afford it, but the point is, I wouldn't have any community. Who wants to hear about my love life, or my past, or my youth? So I'm in great hopes that Capitol Hill Housing can help provide the space.
For White Center, it's also a community that's facing significant displacement, and it's a community where historically low-income people or immigrant populations have kind of been pushed into.
I got to grow up with this shared multicultural experience, and it wasn't until I left White Center and did my undergrad and realized, for me, how uncomfortable it is to be surrounded by a white dominant society, and how it wasn't where I felt strong and it wasn't where I felt welcome, that I really realized the beauty of White Center and why I wanted to come back here and serve this community and help elevate this community, because this community deserves all the other things that other communities are getting, and for whatever reason, whatever systems, we're not getting.
I have great hopes that we can do something, and I'm just so delighted that Capitol Hill Housing is helping out in this, because if it wasn't for you all, I don't know that anything would be going on.
I hope Capitol Hill Housing stays around forever, because organizations like Capitol Housing is needed so people can stay part of their communities. They don't have to move way out and displaced and spend a couple hours traveling just to come back to the inner city to their jobs. So big ups to Capitol Hill Housing.
How community spaces help me each day. Even when I'm not here, they help me because they help people that I know. And when we get help, when one of us gets help, we all get help. When one of us are in need, we're all in need, and we need to care for one another.
For us, it's really about how do we position ourselves as an organization so that other organizations in community can take advantage of or leverage the resources that we've been able to grow over the last 42 years of our existence.
So equitable development is an opportunity to participate in the prosperity of the region, right? We know that there is a lucrative business to be in development. but we also understand that you have to have knowledge of the system to participate in it, be socially connected, be politically connected, and also have capital. And equitable development in our community means balancing all of that out. Not only jobs at the job site, employing people of color, employing African Americans, but participating in the investment gains in the long term for our entire Black community, not just the initial investors in the project. And also building the capacity of our community to continue to do that sort of development going forward. And ultimately it means development that's done with us, not to us.
I really like that answer. Thank you. Okay, next. What are some roadblocks and challenges that you've seen Capitol Hill Housing encounter along the way?
Some roadblocks and challenges that we've encountered along the way in the project. Yeah, so, we're linking community needs with political will, with existing policies, with precedents, and all of those things butt up against one another, right? This was definitely going to be a project that was not going to be same old, meaning shifting the table to allow for community voices, to allow for vulnerable communities who have not participated in what our community should look like, how it should be developed. And so there were often times we were working at cross purposes, ultimately to build an equitable project that stood to benefit the community. However, how we got there differed. And in the end it was beautiful because the project happened. We realized it, but now it's replicating it to continue to do additional projects. But then how do we move forward from our learnings from that project and some of the challenges that we're quite frankly still challenged with to make the next project work? Because when we think about equitable development, not just one development will provide equity, right? We have to continue to do it and replicate it and do more, many, many more. And so learning from each project in order to traverse those challenges.
Okay. I know that this facility is mostly just a food bank, but I know some of the other communities have other resources like rec centers. How do you think those spaces, why do you think those spaces are so important to be incorporated into these housing projects?
Yeah, the importance of incorporating community space in affordable housing. We're pretty clear that affordable housing provides stability and predictability. We know the benefit of keeping a family stable, but we also understand it is about people's well-being. Places to take our kids, to commune with one another, to have spaces like parks and cultural centers, to do togetherness, because it isn't just about where you live, it's how you interact where you live and your personal community. And I feel like those spaces creates the cohesion and the glue for a personal community, which we need it's an important part of all of our well-being.
Wow. I'm nailing it. Let's see. And then finally, I wanted to just ask you a little bit about, and I'm not sure if Bird Bar is part of that, but I noticed there's a lot of talk about sustainable development, environmentally sustainable development.
Yeah, so we're looking right now at the cultural eco-district model, which I believe was pioneered in Portland at one of the universities, and it's being implemented in Little Tokyo in LA, I believe in DC, and Capitol Hill is also implementing it. We're learning in the CD so that we can implement it here. And really what it is, it's being mindful of the built environment and how it influences the way people move about and live and commune with one another, but also from a culturally sensitive perspective, but also in a socially responsible perspective. And so right now we're looking at, again, the cultural eco-district lens.
Thank you. Is there anything, do you have any like sweet memories or anecdotes about your time here? Maybe not just as the evening,
Yeah.
but maybe as a resident, as a community member, as
Sure.
a child?
So yeah, I've been coming to this community since I was 12 years old, so you can imagine that I also have seen the shifts, experienced the sense of loss. My childhood was spent in the Central District with my friends, coming to festivals and Christmas parties here at the organization. And as I look around today and I see development happening, various different spaces being developed, the activities are quite different. And we're hanging on for dear life to maintain some of those activities that speak to our sense of self. And they're still there to an extent, but not in large part like they were before. And so it's really important that as we think about equitable development, that we consider the history and the tapestry of this community and its organizations, and what it held for people, including myself, and how we can preserve that going forward for our children and grandchildren.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. You should run for office. Has anyone ever told you that?
Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
My board tells me
It's a
that all the
gift.
time. That's why I laugh. Thank you. Thank you. Well, after being here 16 years, you just collect so much. And it's all interconnected. So yeah, we have a